It is episode number 349 of the OMG Hour. We are your outright monochromatic Gen-Xers. And, of course, I am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
And I am Tico, Mr. Second Place. Are we Gen-Xers? I can't remember.
We are definitely.
Oh,
we are. Yeah, we're right in the middle. You know, we're the ones like just sort of, we got the boomers over here, we got the millennials over here, and we're just sitting in the middle eating the popcorn, you know. We're just, you know, whatever. Just do your thing, whatever.
It's a good deal, popcorn.
Yep.
Out of this.
We get exactly. We get.
I like this.
We get the good deal. That's right. We're just watching the movie unfold before us.
All right. Before we start and get into any of the stuff, I want you to tell us about your Extra Life accomplishment.
Oh my gosh, dude! Did you see what happened today?
I saw your post today that you hit a number dead on somehow with magic.
That's right. So I raised. So originally, as I mentioned probably a couple weeks ago, I wanted to hit $3,033.50 because that was literally the amount that would bring my 10-year total to $15,000 raised. And I hit that, and I was so ecstatic, and it kept going. I'm like, okay, let's raise it to 3,500 now, and then it went to there. And then I'm like, and it kept going to like 3,750. It was like 38. So I was like, okay, I didn't think this was possible. Let's raise it to $4,033.50, which would be $16,000 over the 10 years,
which is crazy. That's almost a third.
Yes,
of the total.
Yes, exactly. And I hit that today. Someone donated exactly $47.17, which is what was needed to bring it to exactly $16,000.00 raised over 10 years. That is incredible.
That's a pretty awesome accomplishment, and I'm glad that you're able to do that, and I'm glad that everybody supports you in this way too, because it is really a cool thing to be able to do.
It is. I mean, honestly, I was thinking about this on the way home and how absolutely amazing that is, and just like I'm kind of a bit speechless, like with the amount of support behind me on this, because when I look at the numbers, I've raised $4,034, rounding up, this year. Yeah. And when I look at that number, see what Extra Life implemented over the last couple of years is they actually give leaderboards based on how much you've raised.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me pull it up real quick because I know what I am in Canada. But if I bring up my Extra Life page, it tells me that my overall rank is 208 in the world. Right? And there are like thousands of Extra Lifers, but I'm 208. In Canada, I am number 22 in all of Canada.
It's pretty amazing,
right? That's like just this year, basically, right? And then you can filter it down to Ontario, where I'm like number 4 in all of Ontario.
Yeah.
And for the specific hospital, I'm number 1.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you look at. I mean, I know we both really enjoy doing this show. We don't have a huge reach compared to some of the other people that are doing these things. Like I've seen
exactly,
like a lot of the big name streamers and stuff like that doing Extra Life as well. And so when you look at your numbers compared to stuff that they're doing, and you compare our numbers to the audience that they have, that's an amazing number that you've hit.
And that's what, I was really thinking, like the support behind Extra Life every year, my personal campaign, I'm in awe at the support behind me. Like, I don't even know how to explain what I'm feeling. It's just, I'm so appreciative of the people who been so generous to give to this amazing campaign every year. And to, like, and all I did was like, hey, this is what I want to do. And people were like, yeah, here, let me help you. And like, it's like, wow, that's just amazing to me. And I'm honestly, I'm humbled, and I'm like really, really appreciative to just the generosity of these individuals. It's just amazing. It really is.
Well, it just goes to show you that our fans and our following is better than any of the other fans and followings out there.
We are the best. We are the best. We're small, but we are mighty.
Exactly.
It's awesome. So, I'm I want to do, I don't even know what to say, but I really kind of want to do like a thank you video for everyone who donated, as well as those who, because I had a ton of games to give away, and I still do.
Yeah.
And I want to thank everybody for the amazing contribution to do this, because I mean, what a way to go out, because like I said, 10 years, I've decided this will be my last year doing Extra Life, and you know, I put in a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of effort every year, and I want to shift gears next year. I want to look into something else, and there's other things I want to kind of donate my time to. So I'm like, you know what? I did the same thing for PAX East. 10 years, done. 10 years of Extra Life. Okay, let's go into 2020 kind of in a bit of a clean slate, start over, refresh, and just, focus on some other things. That's all,
Yeah.
So it was an absolutely fantastic way to go out. And I'm really, really happy of the way it's worked out. So, yeah, it's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And thank
All right.
you.
Now we can talk about some games, maybe.
Oh, really? Games?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, why don't we start out with the best game on the list?
All right, so this is the
one.
regular edition. I am highly expecting several remasters and a couple of Game of the Year editions of this coming out.
Actually, I don't doubt it. I mean, there's got to be a definitive edition coming soon.
Yeah, I mean, there's a 4K or 8K or 12K version of this at some point.
At least.
So I received this week, came out on Tuesday, a copy of Bee Simulator for the Xbox One.
Ah, man, and you got to review this.
Yes.
You got a code for review. I didn't get my review code until today, so you are way ahead of me on this. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry. It's a spoiler-free video for the fully engrossed campaign.
Good.
This is a very odd title. Like it's a weird thing that somebody would even think.
You know what's funny about this? I was thinking today. This is by Big Ben Interactive. They're the ones who did The Sinking City.
Okay.
Like, that is two extremes here. The Sinking City, which is a Cthulhu-based game.
Yeah.
And then you've got Bee Simulator. It's like, what a diverse catalog of games under their belt.
Like, it's an interesting... Now, these are the sort of things where I look at these titles like, okay, it's cute. They found something like Goat Simulator or something like that. They found something it's going to be a fun little take on somebody that's going to do this is being built in their spare time while they're building another game or something like that. And this clearly looks like that's what it is. But this game also came out at a price point of $45 Canadian.
That seems high.
It seems like, I mean, a budget title.
What is the game exactly? Like, what is Bee Simulator?
So, Bee Simulator, you play as a bee, believe it or not.
What?
And you start off and you get to name your bee. My bee's name is Biscuit.
Okay. Okay.
I just took the first name they suggested. It's like, how about we call you this? I'm like, sure. I don't feel like coming up with any other bee-related puns right now. And you start off in your hive. And you learn the basics of movement and controls, how to gather pollen, how to fight, and there's a dance thing, and I don't know why it's not really explained. Just occasionally you dance.
Really? Just okay? It's just if you're like not doing anything?
No. Like there's missions where you have to dance, but it's not like a mating dance or anything like that. It's just like you do something like, well, let's dance about this, and then you dance.
Okay.
And then there is some campaign missions. So like you find a squirrel who's lost his mother, so you have to fly around and ask a bunch of squirrels if they're the squirrel's missing mother.
Oh, so bees can talk to squirrels.
Yeah. You clearly
obvious. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking. Obviously, insects can talk to other insects.
Have you never had a peanut butter and honey sandwich? That's how they got together with making those. Delicious.
Okay.
If you haven't had one, they're good.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Thing.
I got you. No. I know it's a thing, but okay. I didn't realize that was the history of them. Sure.
Yeah. That's how. Yeah. That's it. Look it up. It's on the internet somewhere. So you start off there, and then
it is now.
It is now. You'll eventually be introduced to the queen. And the queen will say, hey, go out and gather some stuff or go out and do some stuff. And you head out into the world, and your hive is And like it's like a Central Park type park, like sort of in the middle of a big city, and there's like a zoo and like picnic grounds and stuff like that, and you can land on moldy cupcakes and stuff like that. And there's different types of missions you can do as you go around. You collect pollen, and it'll ask you to find. So there's bee vision. You press down the right stick, and it gives you bee vision, so you can collect the right color of pollen that you need. You can do fighting, which is basically a dance thing where it's like X, Y, and it's just two buttons, X and Y. It's the easiest dance
Oh,
type
really?
game ever. It's just X and Y to do your fights. So like it'll scroll along, you hit X, Y, Y, and it'll do damage to the other bee or the wasp
So
that's fighting you.
There's really no way to fail the battle.
You could, I suppose, but I don't know how you could. There's dance, like I said, dance battles. It seems like where you get into I don't know if it's like a mating dance. It doesn't seem, because there's no like bee on bee action or anything like that happening.
I hope not. It's probably a family-friendly title.
Yeah, but you get, it's like, hey, let's dance, and it's just directional. Like the other bee will do a move, and it's like forward roll, and you have to match forward roll. So it's forward roll, backward roll, left roll, and right roll, and it'll be like, it's basically done. It's a Simon Says, like you have to match it exactly, and
oh man,
and then you pass that mission.
I mean, it's not a terrible looking game. I mean, it looks kind of fun.
It looks okay. I will say this: the one mission that I absolutely hate, there is a race mission or a follow the leader type mission.
Okay.
Where you have to fly through rings.
Yes.
And the bee controls are the worst controls for any type of flying thing that you've ever had. When you're trying to go quick.
It's not Flight Simulator?
No, because the camera is like, it's like a hard, fast camera on your back. So like you're going to turn, and the whole camera turns at the same time so like, there's one over there, but then I completely lose sight of where the next one is, and it's so hard to get angled back in.
Oh no.
And if you don't do it fast enough, you fail, or if you miss too many of the rings, you fail. And it's very, very frustrating to do those missions.
But now, is it flight stick controls? Like, is up down and down is up?
I think you can invert them if you want.
You can, okay.
It's regular, and plus the left trigger and right trigger will helicopter control you up and down.
Okay.
So you can use that in addition to it. The flight controls themselves are not great. The bee himself, it is like there's a boost you can get by collecting what look to be golden mushrooms. I don't know what they really are. It's a golden arrow thing that you can collect, and it gives you your boost. But he is the slowest bee in the world. Like you're like, you know how we get frustrated with Red Dead about how slowly that guy walks.
Yes.
Yeah, these bees are slower than him.
Oh no.
He would outrun these bees no problem.
At his current pace.
Yeah. It is a little frustrating because it's like, okay, I have to get over there, and you're going. It's like, come on, like let's just go. And I get the need to slow it down so you have better control over it, but you don't have better control. The controls still suck.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
It is an interesting title. I will say that much. I think that it is overpriced.
$45 Canadian. Yeah. So
yeah,
what's that? Probably $40 American. $39.99.
35 probably American. I'm going to say 35 American. I do think it is overpriced for what they give you. It's basically a combination of mini games and races. I don't feel I learned much about bees during my. Well, I mean,
so not much of an actual bee simulator.
No, but let's think, you would have figured, okay, this is one of those educational games or something like that where you're gonna learn all about the different types of bees and what bees do. And
that's coming. That's coming later. That that's the. That has to come later, the walkthrough in Greece in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, they're gonna add that. I don't know. I would have figured based off of the way this game is sort of put together, it would have been more of a educational tool in addition to that, but I don't feel that that's the case. I know there's an achievement for going around and using your stinger and pop, and you can use your stinger, so you can fly in and pop balloons.
I was wondering if those balloons were poppable.
The balloons are poppable when you.
I would totally do that.
There's an achievement for popping 20 of them.
I would totally go around popping balloons.
Yeah, and I've done that, by the way. But that to me, so you have a stinger, and you can use it, but it's not used in the fighting. Like,
Well,
why is there not, like, I would love to, like, if you're gonna do that, like, throw in like a bee combat simulator, like Flight Simulator, but with bees. Like, remember the game Crimson Skies? That with
yes,
bees.
with bees.
That would be fun.
All
It
right,
is.
all right.
It's a weird game.
Well, I'm going to be playing it this weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Death Stranding. I was playing some more Death Stranding this week.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of reading about Death Stranding as well, because there's a few things I really want to understand, and because one thing the game did not explain to me, and I wish I had known this last week when I first started playing, the little light thing on your back that shows in the video, and it flitters and it lights up. That apparently tells you where the BTs are. I'm like, I actually looked up, BT strategy, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so when there's BTs nearby, which is the video I'm going to show you here, and I actually managed to successfully navigate through an area of BTs without getting caught. So I now do believe that initial BT scenario at the beginning of the game was deliberately designed for you to get caught.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's a few things that happen in there that basically it's teaching you this is what's going to happen, and this is what happens if you die, and this is what happens if you get caught, that sort of thing. But so it's always, that thing will always, it'll open up when they're nearby, and it'll be a white light, and it will always be facing the nearest BT. It will always face it, so you'll always know in which direction the nearest BT is. As soon as you get closer to another, it'll quickly change directions, so you'll know you're getting closer to another one. If it starts flashing, like moving in and out, the faster it's moving, the closer you are, and once you get super close, it actually turns orange if you're too close to them. Like, basically dangerously close. So that kind of made it easy to navigate through this field of BTs. The other thing is that if you stop and stand still, his ability is that he can see their outline. Like, normally they're invisible to people, but if he stops and stands still and looks around, he can actually see where they are. They can see their silhouette.
Okay.
I found out this week that BT actually stands for beach things.
Beach things.
Again, what that means, I don't know. Like, I think the game is doling out information very slowly. You're learning about what bridge babies are, what BTs are. I think you might actually, there's collectibles that you get as you play through the game where you start collecting like historical documents or even just notes and research that has been lost. So you start learning about the world. The rain, by the way, is called timefall. So the rain comes down, and whatever it hits, it ages. So it steals time. And as soon as it hits something and steals time, it just turns into rain. So it is rain, but it's bizarre. Literally,
it's magic rain.
Whatever it hits, it ages, and then just becomes rain, like plain water.
Yeah.
Right? So there's like something in the rain. Chiral or something matter, I think, is what's falling from the sky, and that chiral matter is what's actually aging stuff when it hits it.
So, like, could you just get like a really cool umbrella?
Well, that's what his suit is, right? His suit protects him, and if you're in the rain too long with your delivery, it starts to decay the material that it's your like the boxes the stuff's in, right? So if you take too long, you could start losing value of the cargo you're carrying. Okay. Because it eventually wears out the cargo container, and then the stuff inside would start getting damaged. Yeah. So far, I haven't had any damaged material. I managed to get through it quick enough. But I will say that the rain or the timefall happens so much. It's like, when is it ever not raining in this game? It's almost to that point. It was like, oh, we got some sunshine for 5 minutes.
Okay, so it's like British Columbia. Got it.
Exactly. Now here's another cool thing about this game. It's semi shared online. Like, you're not playing online,
Mm-hmm.
but you can get ladders, you can get post boxes that if you can't get to where you need to deliver stuff, you can put it in there and entrust it to someone else to deliver for you. You'll get some of the credit for finding lost cargo.
Okay.
And there's also climbing ropes that you can deploy if you need to climb down the side of a mountain, for example. But what's cool is once you've placed that item, when someone else also unlocks that area in their game, your item is available to them if you've left it
Okay.
there.
That's kind of cool.
Right. So
So it's a persistent world.
I guess, and I don't know how persistent. Like, I don't know if it's there for a limited time.
It must because otherwise
you'd have ladders everywhere, you know?
You'd have ladders everywhere, or like, you know, like the allure to that is lost once the first person places a rope somewhere or a ladder, and then nobody else can do it for the rest of time. Unless I guess maybe the items get hit with the rain and they disintegrate eventually.
Oh, that could
have to be replaced.
That's a good point, because I have come across ropes and ladders that were already there when I arrived, and I've used them.
Yeah.
All right. So, and when you do unlock a particular area, all of a sudden you do see a whole bunch of ladders and ropes on the map just appear, like little icons appear.
Yeah.
Now, again, reading up on this game, I understand that the game past chapter 3, so into once you hit chapter 4, I think I'm only in chapter 2 right now. Once you're in chapter 4, the game like really opens up and you start really understanding what this game is all about, because up until then it's literally just you're a delivery guy, you know, take some cargo from here to there and bring these individual cities onto the chiral network.
Yeah.
Right? And that's all it's been so far for me, but it's still like you're not a fast mover, especially if you have nothing on, you can move pretty fast. But if you've got a ton of cargo, you know, it takes all that weight into account, and it's still very cool because it feels like physics are involved. You know, if you're carrying 100 kilograms of material, you're not going to move very quickly. You know, or if and when you're collecting that equipment, you have to specify where do you want to carry it. You want to carry it on your back? Do you want to carry it on your left leg, left arm, right arm? Because you have one location on each arm, one location on each leg, as well as multiple locations on your back.
So they basically made a game out of how I bring my groceries in from the car.
Absolutely. But if you're off balance, and you could very easily lose balance and topple over.
No,
right?
I'm fantastic at bringing in groceries.
Well, it's because you're good at balancing. So you have to take that into play here. You have to balance your equipment on your body. Anyway, it's, you know, I'm still playing it. It's one of those games where I'm so fascinated by the world, but it's a really hard game to want to come back to for a long time because it is so slow going. I guess is the best. Like, it's not a terrible game. I think it's designed super well. It plays really well, but it's a very slow going game, and you really need to be in the mood for, okay, I want to deliver this thing, but it's going to take me 30 minutes to get from here to here over this landscape, you know,
and it's just then walking from this place to this place, and
until you get a motorcycle. Eventually, I believe the location I just got to, there's a motorcycle, but it's broken down, so now there's sort of a mission to fix it so that you can use it. So anyway, this game is just so well done. It's so beautiful too. I wish the video that we got here on YouTube did it justice, because I have a 4K TV. It's a lot. I feel like it's a lot brighter when I'm playing it in 4K than what we're seeing here on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a little bit dark and a little bit washed out from what I'm seeing based on what I remember seeing on my television. But again, that could be my television making things brighter. So anyway, that is
still looks good.
Oh no, it's a beautiful world. It's like the detail in this world is incredible. It's just it's mind blowing how they've created this world. All right, shall we talk about the Need for Speed, the new one?
Do you have the Need for Speed?
Well, I mean, I've got EA access.
Yeah, well, that's what I've got as well, and it gives you
Yeah,
10 hours of Need for Speed.
10 hours of Need for Speed. So I guess we've both played it. I know we've both
We
played it with our trials.
Yes, we have the need for 10 hours of speed.
Right. And what are your thoughts on Need for Speed Heat?
So I have not been a huge fan of the last few.
I
This one
have
here,
not either.
I'm actually not hating it. I'm enjoying that there's a sort of a story campaign, like an actual, like it feels like a Fast and the Furious type movie storyline around it, which
Well,
I do.
so did the last one.
Did it? Okay, well,
Yeah.
I didn't play much of the last one. The controls of the last one also I didn't care for. This one, I'm feeling that it's more of a Burnout vibe to the controls.
Yes, and I believe that's because it's from.
It's Criterion who's doing it.
Oh wait, no, it was Ghost Games. No, I'm pretty
Maybe
sure
it's
this is Ghost Games.
Yeah, it could have been some of the team though. It does, or they could have just like, hey, we own some of this stuff, so we're just going to take your tech. I mean, it feels a lot better than it had in the past.
I agree. The driving feels good. I'll give you that. Absolutely, driving feels good, and it's not easy right off the bat. I actually put it on medium difficulty, so I'm like my first couple of races. I'm used to the old games where you first start the game and you're like in first place all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm now used to that. So I go in on medium and I'm like, oh, I'm like fifth place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why am I fifth place? So yeah, I'm kind of wondering why this video is the way it is, because I'm sure I put your footage first. So I'm not sure why we're seeing my race and not yours.
It's all right. Well, did I think I won my race?
You did, and that's. I'm not sure what's going on with.
Now, did you now have you done both the daytime? So like the storyline is it's you're dealing with a bunch of cops who are real dicks.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't done much during the day. I only did a couple of nighttime races.
Yeah. So you have two different types of races. Your daytime races are sanctioned races on closed courses, where you can race to earn money, which you use to buy new vehicles, to buy equipment, to buy all the stuff that goes into a car that I don't understand how it makes the car go faster.
No,
apparently it
does. And I haven't done the day race yet because I was told that it's better to do nighttime races first to increase your rep. Otherwise, you don't make as much money during the day.
Oh, well, that I didn't know. I've just been going back and forth. So the daytime races get you money. The nighttime races are illegal street races that are done in traffic.
Yeah.
Cops will, and you can press your luck on those ones too. So you can do a race, and finish the race, win the race, and then go do another race, or you can go and check in at your safe house, which basically banks any rep that you've earned. But if you get caught and arrested, you lose that.
Oh, you lose your rep?
You lose the rep earned if you get caught by the cops.
Oh no!
So that's the thing. So if you do like race, and your heat meter, I guess, will go up and up and up. And if you don't go and bank it by going to your safe house, you could potentially lose it if you get arrested.
That seems so bizarre way to handle that. I mean,
but there's no reason to not bank it after every race. I don't know if there's a multiplier or something like that happens. Like you get more rep if you've done.
Probably. Yeah. But think about this. I mean, kind of logically. I mean, there's nothing logical about these games. Let's put it that way. But think of this logically. So, I'm becoming a famous racer. I have a lot of rep on the street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Street cred.
So, I lose all of that rep if I get busted?
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. If you get busted, it means that you weren't good enough to get away from the cops. So you'll lose the rep that you earned from those races, the reputation, because
I guess
you've now. Oh, there's that slow guy who got caught by the cops.
Yeah. I guess there's some amount of sense to that. I don't know. All right, I guess so. I don't like the idea of finishing a race and then having to immediately go back to the garage. Can't I just go to the next race?
You can.
I know, but you like you said, you're taking a chance by doing so.
You absolutely do take a chance. I don't think early on it's much of a chance, but I'll say this: I enjoy this one more than I've enjoyed the last few.
I feel like the story just gets in the way, though, to be honest with you.
Well, it's not a great story, but it's...
None of them have been, though. It's like, I don't know. I don't need a story for Need for Speed. Just give me race.
I like having a little bit of a story. Like, if
sure.
I like
give
the
me
RPG
a goal.
element.
Give
I
me
like
a
the
goal.
RPG stuff.
You know, like the old one, Need for Speed Most Wanted, where all you had to do was get yourself up the chain to become the most wanted.
Yeah.
You know, you had to take out all the other guys. Like, there's the story. That's what you need to do. Great. Let me go do that.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's what I mean. That's all you really need. Like, a lot of the build up is maybe not as necessary. I don't mind it, though. I'm not going to say I mind it. I don't find the story distracts too much for me for this. I actually did enjoy. I do enjoy playing this, and I'll use up my 10 hours. It's EA, so with EA stuff, I generally will wait for it to become free in the vault.
Oh, will you?
I generally will.
Really? Well, then why don't you tell me about this game?
So this is one of the exceptions to the rule. Star Wars, I am a big fan of. For the most part, if this had been a multiplayer game, absolutely would not have gone anywhere near it. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a single-player game. I have played...
So let me get this right. You actually paid for an EA game.
I paid money for this game at launch, which is odd. A few reasons why. They have no trial for this game. There's no 10-hour trial. So my guess means that you can probably get through the main campaign in less than 10 hours.
I don't understand why EA Access does not have a trial.
Well, here's why. They lost so much money on Anthem, I think, because people tried it for the 10 hours and then just didn't buy it. So I think that's what it was. They're like, well, we're not going to let people play this ahead of time. We want their money. People are going to buy this because it's Star Wars. This is a fantastic game. I will say that. It is absolutely fantastic. It combines the combat feel of like Force Unleashed. You're a Jedi. I don't want to spoil it too much. And that's why most of the scenes here are from the very first level. I didn't take any of the later stuff because I didn't want to spoil any of the stuff. But you play a young, you're an engineer on, I don't know what it is, like a junkyard sort of thing. And you find out early on that he is a former Padawan.
Okay.
This takes place after the fall of the Jedi.
After Revenge of the Sith, yeah.
Yeah. So you were not hunted down, but you have some like powers, but not all of them work well. You're slowly unlocking. Like you've got like some sort of mental block stopping you from being able to use stuff. So you get like early on, you can sort of slow down things, like to get past like blades or something like that.
Okay.
Or slow down an enemy, and then you get your force push later on. So it's a combination of that sort of Force Unleashed feel to it, and it feels great.
Yeah.
Deflecting blaster shots back at the stormtroopers shooting at you, it feels fantastic. And then the next piece of it is Tomb Raider. It is basically a Star Wars Tomb Raider game. You are exploring Jedi temples to find relics and to unlock more pieces of your Jedi ability.
I've been hearing that it's a lot. It's very Uncharted.
Yeah, Uncharted or like Tomb Raider-y.
Yeah.
And really, really well done. Like the mechanics of like the climbing mechanics and everything like that. It feels great. It looks great. Really, really, really like this so far.
Okay,
Sean, you would like this a lot, Sean.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I'm just thinking to myself, is this going to be in the EA Vault in 6 months?
I think that this, because of the fact it's single player only, I think because of the fact that they have no trial, and because of the fact that it's Star Wars, I think that this is probably going to stay out of the vault for longer. The reason we saw things like Anthem hit the vault as early as it did is that's a multiplayer game.
True.
If people aren't playing it, the game dies.
That's true.
Right? So they had no choice but to do something to try to keep the game alive, whereas this one here, I don't think. I think it's going to sell well enough, and I think it'll continue to sell well. We'll see probably in 6 months, you'll probably see a price drop down to the $49 mark. I'd say at least a year before we see this this title in the vault.
And I really want to play this game, but I've got Death Stranding, I've got The Outer Worlds I haven't finished yet. I played The Outer Worlds again last night, and my goodness, that just steals my time. Like, constantly steals my time when I'm playing that. I sit down, and next thing I know, it's like 2 hours later. It's so engrossing, that game.
Yeah, there's a lot. I will say this. I know you're a Star Wars guy.
Oh.
Based off of the 2 or 3 hours I've played so far, I would say put this on your Christmas list as something that you're going to want.
Oh, that's a good point. My daughter did say, "What do you want for Christmas?" So maybe I'll Star Wars. Yeah. All right, let's move on really quick. Xbox, the X19 Roundup or next X19 show is going on right now, and they've announced
just finished.
It's all weekend. It started today. There was a show, I think, today that kind of like a press conference, but the X19 show is all weekend in London. Now they've announced like a bunch of stuff. A lot of games were announced. I don't want to go through them all because honestly, when I looked through the list of all the games they announced, they're all next year. And
a lot of new IP. I mean, Obsidian announced a new game. Like there's a bunch of new. Rare announced a new IP. Like it's stuff like we don't know what the game's going to be because they've just sort of announced it so far.
Yeah, Rare's game is called Grounded, I believe, and you are basically you're a kid who's been shrunk, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and you're in a backyard. So it's a miniature. You're tiny and you're in the backyard. Excuse me. What I found most interesting though is they've announced 50 new games coming to Xbox Game Pass, including, get this, all the Final Fantasy games from like Final Fantasy 7, 8.
That's like 10 games right there.
Yeah, Final Fantasy X and X2, all like the remastered Final Fantasy 15 is coming to Game Pass, which is fantastic. Not only that, The Witcher Complete Edition, The Witcher 3 is coming to Game Pass. These are huge titles to be saying, you know what, here you go. These are all in Game Pass.
Yeah. Rage 2, actually, that was on my list of stuff that was played. I didn't grab any footage, but Rage 2 is another one that is not too old, and a really good game just dropped onto Game Pass yesterday. Right. It's already on there.
It's there now.
Oh
my gosh, dude.
The Talos Principle. I know you've talked about that game in the past on
I did.
PlayStation.
I played that for Extra Life, I think, in 2016, I want to say.
Yeah, so it dropped into the Game Pass for PC and console yesterday as well.
Game Pass is really becoming something that's like, how do you give that? How do you say no to something like Game Pass?
It is such a good deal. The Yakuza games, which have been previously, famously, Sony exclusives, are coming to Game Pass. There's three. I don't know if they're being remastered or not, but 3 Yakuza games.
Wow. And speaking of Sony exclusives, all the Kingdom Hearts are coming to Xbox. Not necessarily to Game Pass, but they're coming to Xbox. Right? They've been PlayStation exclusives
for years.
Forever. Yeah. So lots of stuff coming out of X19. They also talked about XCloud, which is also, again, everything's next year, but XCloud apparently will work with Sony's DualShock controller. Well, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat that they would do that.
It's nice that you don't have to use the Xbox gamepad, and you connect it with your phone or whatever. I guess whatever you've got around, and you can play your Game Pass library.
Well, think about this for a second. Think about what they've done there. They've said, "Listen, we know you enjoy PlayStation, but if you get XCloud, you can play all those games with the controller you're comfortable with."
Yeah.
What a way to get PlayStation gamers onto XCloud.
You don't, and that's the thing. You don't even need to have a console at this point.
No,
because these are streaming straight from there. So you just sign up for the service. In addition, you have a PlayStation. Great, use your controller, plug it in, and play this stuff. Without having to have a console. Like we're getting to that point of that console-less.
Yes. Well, I mean that's Stadia, right? Stadia comes out next week. Although nobody's going to have it next week, but Stadia comes out next week. It's going to launch with 12 games, so that's a pretty significant. I think that's a pretty good launch lineup. I think there's a list of what those games are. Now, I know I talked a while back about being unsure about Google Stadia. I will admit right now, I did go ahead and order the Founders Edition. And coincidentally enough, I ordered the Founders Edition, and I believe it was either 1 or 2 days later, they said, sold out. Now it's called the Premier Edition or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad same price, but less features. You get a white controller with the Premier Edition. You don't get a pass for your friend. There's, basically there's you obviously don't get first choice of your gamer tag.
How sold are you on this device that you're going to keep it, or maybe look at eBay to see? Because I know the Founders Editions were probably up there. I think we looked at it at one point, and it was.
Oh, wasn't it like $1,000 or something?
Yeah, like is if somebody said, "Hey, Sean, I know you got a Founders Edition coming. I'll give you $1,000 for it." Do you keep the Stadia, or do you take the $1,000 and just get a regular edition and pocket the difference?
If someone said, "I'll give you $1,000," I'd be like, "Here you go." I mean, come on.
It's a cool idea. I just don't think that they've got I'm not sold on it yet. I don't think I need.
Well,
Stadia.
The games list itself isn't anything you can't play anywhere else. I'll give you that. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Destiny 2, which comes with it, the entire collection. Guilt, which is it is an exclusive. Just Dance 2020, Keen, Mortal Kombat 11, Red Dead Redemption 2, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Samurai Showdown, Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Thumper, and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. So, I mean, it's not a massive list by any chance, but there's a lot of stuff coming for it.
Yeah, and
I guess for me,
Ubisoft's whatever they call their Plus.
Oh, right, the Plus? Uplay. That's right, Uplay Plus will work for Stadia. Yeah. I guess for me, really, it comes down to, because I've been traveling a little more. I've traveled several times this year, and I'm thinking it'd be kind of cool because the Stadia I can either play on my laptop, or I can just take the Chromecast Ultra that I'm getting with it and just take it with me and hook it up to the television in the hotel.
Yeah.
And I've got a portable full-on console with me anywhere I go. So that was a bit of why I wanted to do it. I didn't think it was super expensive. It was a pretty easy thing for me to say, you know what, I'm going to try it out. Whatever. I mean, I've got an Ouya and a game stick that I never use. Like, come on.
Yeah, I've got those too as well.
Right. Yeah. So, hey, listen, I'm a gamer. I'm an early adopter. I don't mind checking these things out. I mean, I'm going to be honest. We've been doing this show for 8 years. That's one of the reasons I do these things, is so that I can talk about it. I want to be able to talk about these things, so I'm going to do it. You
want to be able to, you can justify your bad purchases because we do the show.
Because that's right. It's all the show's fault. One other thing that I thought was kind of cool with Xbox One, I don't think it's something I'm going to use, but apparently they're getting a shuffle button where you're like, I don't know what to play, so you could just click shuffle and it will literally randomly choose a game for you to play.
From your pile of shame.
Okay,
give you something
I guess that's kind of a neat idea. Okay, whatever.
It's a fun thing. It obviously didn't take them very much to add that sort of functionality in there. Just pick a random game from Game Pass. You've got hundreds to choose from.
Exactly. So that's kind of cool. All right. That was a lot of game talk today. Let's. We're gonna play Brain Cage today.
The Cage of Brains.
We're gonna cage our brains. Let me reach down here. All right. Here's the box. Let's pick one of these big ones that I've got right on top here.
All right.
All right, here we go. It was a warm, foggy, deathly silent evening. Detective Shadow could hear nothing except a distant foghorn and the echo of footsteps behind him. Shadow stopped to listen, and moments later the echoing footsteps stopped. Shadow resumed walking, and almost instantly the trailing footsteps resumed. Shadow cut across the dark alley and headed toward the street's only illuminated lamppost. As he passed under the light, the lamp was now behind him, casting a shadow on the sidewalk in front of him. As Shadow hurried away from the light to see if he was being followed, He began to wonder if the top of his lengthening shadow would move faster, slower, or at the same speed as he was. Can you explain or prove the correct answer?
The top of his lengthening shadow?
Yeah, so this is literally a physics question.
So he's walking.
What does the rest of the story have anything to do with this? Like, think about that. The story has nothing to do with the question.
Yeah. I don't think it does. But like, so if the light's behind him.
Light's behind him, and he's saying, as Shadow hurried away from the light to see if he was being followed, he began to wonder if the top of his lengthening shadow would move faster, slower, or at the same speed as he was.
Well, the top would get closer to him as he moved forward and away from the light.
It would actually get further away from him because the light would be stretching. Light moves at the speed of light. I think is everything's going to move exactly the same as him, like the same speed. Because it's light traveling, right? You can't. I think it's just going to move at the same speed.
But eventually, the light source disappears, and the shadow would then.
Well, sure.
Shrink as he blocked more of the light.
Yeah.
So I think it would move slower eventually. The faster he moves, the quicker he's getting out of range of the light. So the shadow would slow down and actually.
The answer is
Final answer.
The top of his shadow would move faster. Let's freeze a moment in time when we capture both the detective and the top of his shadow. After walking several steps, we freeze another moment in time representing the detective and the top of his shadow. So we've got two pictures here. Oh, you got to see pictures here. So there's A and B.
Yeah.
Showing the shadow getting longer. Now we can clearly see the distance from A to B is considerably farther than the distance between A and B. I guess that's true. Right? So obviously the shadow moves faster than he does because the shadow length is longer than the distance he moved. So it had to move faster. Well, and now it says, on being followed, don't look now, Mr. Pugnette, but I believe we're being followed. What? I don't know, dude. I don't like that question. It was too much about physics. I'd rather have like riddles.
Yeah, I like riddles. Let's get some good riddles going.
Yeah, I'll look through the question, maybe pull out some riddle ones without looking at the answers, but
yeah.
Next time anyway. We've got some television to talk.
TV happened.
Television talk to get to.
Yes.
Try saying that 20 times fast.
No, I will not even say it once.
Okay, Disney Plus launched this week. That is the biggest news in the history of the world. Disney Plus launched, and the day after it launched, Tico, they already had 10 million plus signups.
Which is amazing because they were expecting within the year, they were aiming for 12 million.
Are you serious?
Their yearly target. Their target for the year was or by the end of this year, I think, was 12 million.
Well, no wonder their servers couldn't handle it.
Yeah, like there was, and now I was lucky my stuff worked right away, but
it didn't for me. It worked by the time I got home. Yeah. Most of the day, especially on the app on my phone, I would go in and like nothing would load. I could log in. I never had login problems. Yeah, but nothing would load.
I was in early, though, too, because I downloaded early, so I think that may have helped me. I think people were having trouble getting signed up. I signed up in the Netherlands.
You signed up in the Netherlands, dude.
The Dutch had a week, an early preview, and so I signed up with that early the day before, switched my settings to Netherlands in my Xbox and downloaded the free app, and then signed up and paid for the year, and then switched back to Canada, and I had access to not everything. They had a very limited amount of content, for that.
Yeah.
For that, it was it's I like it. I will say that
Well, okay, let's talk about a couple of shows that are on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's talk about the big one, The Mandalorian. Star Wars, the first Star Wars live action television show. First episode I noticed was 39 minutes. Second episode, which just came out today, which I haven't watched yet, is only 32 minutes. That really surprised me. I was expecting it to be like... I
did not know the timing.
Yeah, I was expecting them to be like hour long each, but that's quite a difference. 39 minutes to 32 minutes. I don't know. It seems weird. But let's talk about the first episode real quick with no spoilers.
Yeah. All right, no spoilers. Okay.
This is... I mean, this is Star Wars. I don't think you could get more Star Wars than this show was.
Yeah.
You know,
I've now watched it twice. I watched it at, like, the morning, I got up, whatever it was, Friday morning, and I watched it, and I'm like, well, that was really good. And then in the evening, I actually said, okay, Shannon, you got to sit down. Shannon is a Star Wars fan as well. And we sat down and watched it again, and it was nice to be able to watch it the second time. It is absolutely 100% a space western. It is you could take the storyline and just switch it out with like a Clint Eastwood movie, and like so many of the western tropes are in there. But with the tone and the feel of Star Wars, which is fantastic.
The bars, the shootouts, the whole gunslinging, and for sure, it's totally a Western, but what a fantastic way to finally see an IG unit in live action. Wow, did they ever do a good job with that IG unit? At first I'm like, is that IG-88? I don't know, it could be.
Yeah, and that the IG unit voiced by the guy's name who I can never pronounce, Taika
Waititi.
Yeah, voice of the IG unit. Which
did you realize that the Ugnaught was voiced by Nick Nolte?
I did know that. Yes.
I mean, also the first time we've ever heard an Ugnaught actually speak.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's cool. I've never seen an Ugnaught as a character.
Yeah.
And what a great character he was. I have spoken. That was what a great character.
It is great. Even the again, I'm trying to spin away from spoilers here, but the first bounty from the beginning.
That's basically the cliffhanger ending. Like
but not that bounty. I mean the first bounty at the bar.
The way the show opens. Yeah. Okay.
That was Horatio Sands from SNL.
I don't know him. Okay.
He's the guy.
He's the guy.
He does all the skits with Jimmy Fallon.
I don't watch SNL.
Well, that's not going to make it easier for you to understand what I'm talking about.
Not at all.
But that was a great opening. The bar scene.
It really
you could almost
was.
hear that the Western the whistling as he walks. Yeah, as he walks in, like you can almost hear that. It's some great scenes. Good to see Carl Weathers getting some work.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and the German guy who plays the client, he has
Herzog or something. Werscher Herzog or Herzog Werscher.
Perfect. Yeah. He is the perfect Empire villain.
Yeah, surrounded by stormtroopers. This is great. So this is taking place, I believe, 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So the Empire has fallen. The Empire is no longer. But this one guy has stormtroopers. There's still stormtroopers. There's still, I guess, generals, whatever.
There's pockets. There's pockets. It's like what the Jedi were. The Resistance. There's Empire that are resisting the fall of the Empire.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, it's what a fantastic world they've created here with The Mandalorian. Really looking forward to watching episode 2 tonight. I did watch it with Dorothy because I have very quickly made her a Star Wars fan. I think she realized, I don't know what, I think she realized that she didn't know what she was resisting all these years. So once she watched,
I found that sometimes with Shannon, when I tell her, hey, you're really going to like this show, you should watch it. And she's just like, out of spite, I'm going to fight you on this.
Right?
It's like, but I know what you like.
Exactly.
This would be something you would like. Nope, I am going to be difficult. And then she watches it and then she likes it. Okay. But she can't admit that she likes it because I was the one who told her.
My wife will go to the theater to watch Star Trek with me. She loved Firefly. She loved all these things. And yet she refused to watch Star Wars. I'm like, but Star Trek, Serenity, I mean, how do you... Anyway, I finally, one night, we're like, let's just watch The Force Awakens. So we did. And she was like, that was good. And then we watched The Last Jedi. And then the next day she's like, can we watch the third one? I'm like, well, the third one's not out yet, but we can watch Rogue One. So we watched Rogue One, and then we watched Solo. And
So
and now, of course, she enjoyed the Mandalorian as well.
It is so well put together. Like I am like it looks fantastic. The feel that Western feel to the whole thing. Like even like he's got the cape, which is basically like, he looks exactly like Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with that sort of flowing in the wind cape.
I will admit the one thing I missed, the one thing that I love his outfit. Of course, he's got the Mandalorian helmet, which is like Boba Fett. But the one thing that's just a little off for me, that every time I see him and every time I see his helmet, I'm expecting that little flag thing on the side of his head, like Boba Fett has. And he doesn't have it. And I'm like, oh, I just feel like something's missing.
Well, that was a communication thing.
It is. It is. It's a communication. Oh, sorry. It's a communication thing, but I believe it also flips down and becomes like a target reticule.
Right. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
So I'm surprised he doesn't have it, because I thought all the Mandalorian helmets had that.
No, well, he has a scope on his long rifle.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is
I also watched The World According to Jeff Goldblum. I mean, how can you not watch Jeff Goldblum and just be so fascinated with it's not necessarily the content of the show, but his mannerisms. He's just so quirky and so, I don't even know the word for it, but it's like, I am so fascinated with the way he talks and the way he moves and just, I don't know, man. So the first episode, this is literally it's a documentary series that he is essentially hosting. And the first episode is all about the sneaker business and how huge the sneaker business is. He goes to something called SneakerCon, where people
I've heard of this.
They're paying thousands upon thousands of dollars for a pair of sneakers.
Yeah, I actually have a couple of good friends who are sneakerheads, which is what they call them, and they do that. They have collections of hundreds of pairs of shoes that they don't wear,
right?
They're like on display, because you can't wear these things because you get a scuff on it and stuff like that. It is crazy how much some of these shoes go for. Like, people will pay huge money for rare shoes.
So he goes through the sneaker business. He goes and he visits Adidas. He visits a custom sneaker maker. It actually was quite fascinating. And I'm looking forward to more episodes. I don't know how long it was, maybe 30 minutes or so. But I don't know, man. There's just something fascinating about Jeff Goldblum. I just love watching him. He's bizarre. Honestly, he's so bizarre.
He's good bizarre.
He is a good bizarre. He's a fascinating bizarre, Yeah. I don't know.
So I watched a couple of other shows. The same thing. Like, this comes out, and I scrolled through and like all these old movies, stuff that I'm like, I didn't even realize that was Disney.
Right? Yeah, I did too.
Like Cool Runnings, and I'm like, oh, that was Disney, wasn't it? And like all of the old stuff, the computer wore tennis shoes, and like all that old stuff is on there. All of the old Marvel, the Marvel like animated series, all of that stuff's on there. I'm just going through like, what do I watch first, and just looking at all this stuff. And just remember
that if you start watching a show, you have to remember what episode you left on, because it won't remember for you.
The new stuff, and that's what I ended up back to the new originals stuff, because there's only one episode out of each of those, so it's easy to remember where you are.
Yeah.
So I watched a show called Encore. Which is produced by Kristen Bell.
Yeah, Kristen Bell. Yeah.
And so this is what she has done, and she's not in it for like, she's not really in the show. She shows up like towards the end, but she's getting the cast of musicals from high school back together
to do an encore.
Yeah. So the first episode that is on there, she got the cast from a 1996 high school cast that did Annie. In their high schools, she brings them all back together, man. All in their 40s now, and she brings them all back together. And
do you know how much I would love if that happened for my 1988 production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown?
Yeah, and I think they've got old footage of the original thing, and they bring all these people back. And
I have the old footage. Oh, she needs to call me because I've got old footage of the original. We could get the whole cast back together. That'd be so freaking cool.
It was really interesting to watch. And again, it's all these 40 somethings who are like, some of these people, like, they haven't done any, like, these, stay at home moms and lawyers and security guards. And they're not
software developers, podcasters,
Yeah. They're doing, as I said, and it was really interesting to see them come back together, and really impressive because they get like Tony nominated directors and choreographers and everything like that to come in and get them back up to speed.
Well, how long do they say how long they spend on it?
I think it's like 2 weeks or something like that.
Wow.
I think they take 2 weeks and go from there.
I wonder if there's a way, like, it's got to be US only for one thing. But I wonder how they decide. Like, are these things like write in? Are these people who write in say, "Hey, get our cast back together"?
It's got to be something. They had to have put out something, some sort of a casting
call. I'm gonna I'm not kidding. I am going to look this up. I'm going to look this up because Your Good Man Charlie Brown was a cast of 7 people. That's not going to be hard to get back together. Oh,
give her a call. And by the way, if Kristen Bell's coming down to watch, I will come and cheer you on. Sean,
I won't even tell you. I'll tell you after it's done.
No, if she's coming down, you don't tell me. You'll be in trouble. She's on my list.
Oh.
So
I guess that's understandable. I understand why she's on your list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jennifer
Garner is on my list.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. All right. I also watched Pixar in Real Life.
All right. Yeah, this real one. This will be our last one for today.
Yeah. So Pixar in Real Life is it's like a prank show with Pixar things. So they take Pixar elements. It's a very short show, and they put them out in the real world. The first episode was the control panel from Inside Out, and they just plop it down in a park. And people come by and they press the buttons, and they realize when they press certain buttons, they have actors who are acting out the emotions.
That's awesome.
It's
a caught on camera show.
It's a caught on, yeah. It's a very short show. Like, again, the Inside Out one I didn't find to be that interesting. It looks like they've got Wall-E coming out, and they're just going to have him like roaming the streets and seeing people's reaction to that.
Right. Yeah. There's some that'll work better than others for sure.
Yeah. Like if they do Up and somebody's house floats away, that would be a kind of fun.
Right. Actually, they are doing Up. If I'm not mistaken, it's the little scout kid is going to be out there in real life. So that's cool. That's one I want to watch.
It's fun to see a lot of this content. There's a few documentaries too. They're really cool. Like they had one put together like for Marvel. That's like all of the upcoming Disney Plus Marvel shows and talking about them. And the animation, I will say, the animation for Marvel's What If looks fantastic.
It really does. Yeah, I think I watched that. It was like clips from D23, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That was really fast. It was only like, I don't know, 15 minutes, but
it was very, very short. But like if you wanted a refresher on the stuff that's coming, and it was,
I'm so excited.
Get you more excited about all of that stuff.
Before we sign off this week, I do want to say that what I'm excited about the Disney Plus stuff, the Marvel stuff on Disney Plus, is every time I hear the actors talk about it. Elizabeth Olsen, for example, she said, we're gonna spend 6 hours with these characters.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, okay, that's because I know each of these shows are planned for like 6 episodes, which seems short. Because when you hear there's going to be a TV show about a specific character, you expect seasons and seasons.
You're thinking of
right?
Like 20 episodes.
They're approaching these as one shots. 6 episodes of Loki, done. 6 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier, done. And then there's going to be She-Hulk, and there's going to be Miss Marvel and Moon Knight. Yeah. But
these are mini-series type movies.
But if you think about this for a second, I was saying this to my wife last night. If these are actually 1 hour shows each in 6 hours, they're essentially giving us a trilogy of movies with each of these characters. That's actually pretty fantastic.
Think about it. Iron Man got 3 movies. That's
exactly.
Just over 6 hours with the 3 of them, not counting the Avengers stuff.
That's my point.
That's right around the same time.
Yeah.
Captain America got 3 movies.
And
Thor
that's
got 3 movies.
And that's what they're doing. And if they're 50 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes each episode. You're getting you're still getting the equivalent of 2 or 3 movies with just these characters. Yeah. That's pretty fantastic in my opinion.
And they've already mentioned that these characters will exist in the MCU and
absolutely.
Be available to the movies.
Oh, the Loki film, the Loki and the WandaVision show are going to lead directly into the next Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
Right? So the Marvel shows on Disney are part of the MCU and they will intertwine. Right? So they're going to introduce Miss Marvel and She-Hulk and Moon Knight on Disney Plus, but we will then see them in the movies.
Right. I am very excited about what possibilities this is going to lead into. I'm glad. Again, it's such a great deal too. The Canadian $90
a month. $90 for the entire year.
Yeah.
Like did you go monthly or did you go annual?
I went annually.
Yeah, me too.
I knew like you save like about $20 doing it that way, and I knew this was something that I was going to use. And 4 screens.
Yeah, you can have up to, is it 4?
It's 4 screens.
Right, and you've got profiles just like Netflix. So I set up all 5 of my family, and we all Disney profiles. So I'm Kylo Ren. Dorothy is Groot. Ezri is who did Ezri pick? I can't remember. Maybe Kim Possible, I want to say. Yeah, Kim Possible. Aria, of course, is Ariel, because that's her favorite. Has been her whole life. And then Sydney is Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's her favorite. So it was kind of neat. We all got to pick our favorite characters. But yeah, $9 a month or $90 for the year.
Yeah.
Up to 4 simultaneously.
And the original trilogy Star Wars dropped in 4K.
In 4K. Too. And my goodness, does it ever look good?
Yeah.
I started watching it.
I like, and again, there's a lot of these subscription services and stuff out there now. I'm glad that Disney's come out at this price point because it is going to force all of these other ones that are coming to examine their price point. Netflix at their $18 for the equivalent.
Hulu just raised their price, dude.
Yeah.
Like what?
They're going to have to examine this. If you're going to compete with this stuff, like, people will speak with their money. Now, it used to be like Netflix. This was the only option. Then with Netflix and Hulu and whatever, people are going to speak with their money.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to sign up for the ones that they want. Nobody's going to sign up for every single one of these. Somebody did some sort of math, and it's like...
It's about $100 a month.
About $100 a month, American, I think.
Or is it $90 a month? I think
it's $90 a month, American. If you want to sign up for all of these services, people are not going to do that. The whole point of cutting the cord was to get out of those.
That's what you pay for cable.
Yeah. So people are going to pick and choose the ones that they are going to use the most.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that your original content is going to play a big part in that, and your monthly cost.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. I was going to say something else, and now I've forgotten, so it must not have been true.
You'll remember next week.
Yeah, probably. That is pretty much it for episode number 349. Tico, why don't you take us out?
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Second Place. You can follow the show on Twitter at the OMG Hour, and you can check us out on the YouTubes at youtube.com/OMG Nexus.
Of course, I am Ziantane everywhere, and that is XIANTAYNE. If you're watching us here on the YouTubes, give us a like, subscribe, comment, and hit the little bell icon so you'll get notified of any new videos. That is it, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. We might be back next week. I'm not sure. I'm heading down to Kentucky on business. If we can record, we will. But right now, I don't know. We'll see how the internet is down at the hotel. But until then, have yourself an awesome week.
Bye, guys.
This has been an OMGNexus.com production.